It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Power is never just about what you do. It is about what others feel when you enter the room. Presence is the battlefield long before words are spoken. If you walk in unseen, overlooked, or dismissed, you have already lost ground. Invisibility is not neutral. Invisibility is weakness, and weakness invites conquest. The invisible man in any hierarchy is not safe. He is disposable, forgotten, and easy prey for those who carry an aura that demands attention. Aura is not aggression. Aura is not shouting. Aura is the quiet gravity that pulls eyes toward you, the silent command that makes space bend when you arrive. It is not a mask you put on, it is a force you project. Ruthless aura is the perception of unshakable dominance, not cruelty but certainty. People respect what appears immovable. They recoil from what radiates fragility. When your frame is steady, even in silence, others feel the edge of power pressing against them. Consider the simple difference. A man enters a meeting and blends into the background. His words later are treated as afterthoughts, his ideas left to die unnoticed. Another enters, standing with shoulders squared, gaze steady, stillness intact. He says little, but when he does, the room leans in. Nothing changed in knowledge, yet everything changed in presence. Weak. Sorry, just my opinion. Strong, here is the position. Weak. If that's okay with everyone. Strong, this is the next move. Aura frames the outcome before the content even arrives. You build this presence through command of yourself. Stand tall, breathe slowly, hold your ground. Do not fidget, do not shrink, do not fill silence with nervous chatter. Silence is not emptiness, silence is dominance. Stillness signals that you are not desperate to be heard because you already expect to be. That is why predators wait before they strike. They conserve motion, and that stillness radiates danger. Even in conflict, aura is the shield. Imagine being challenged in public. Weakness rushes to defend with frantic explanations. Ruthlessness stays calm, locks eyes, speaks with clipped certainty. You do not need volume. You need weight. The calm leader controls the tempo of the exchange. He absorbs heat without flinching, and that restraint alone wins authority. Without aura, your words fall like stones into the void. With it, even silence echoes like a drum of war. Build your presence as if you were arming for battle, because every room you enter is a battlefield of perception. Weakness is invisibility. Strength is inevitability. Stand, speak, and carry yourself until your very shadow commands respect. Radiate dominance, or be erased. The mind is a throne, and every throne either rules or collapses. Before you expect others to respect you, you must establish dominion over yourself. A ruthless aura does not begin with clothing, tone, or posture. It begins with mental sovereignty. If doubt rules the inner court, your presence will falter no matter how strong your exterior appears. People sense hesitation, the way predators smell weakness. Every crack in confidence leaks into the atmosphere around you. Inner sovereignty is the invisible crown. It cannot be bought, gifted, or borrowed. It is earned by disciplining thought, by cutting off the endless cycle of self-doubt that undermines authority. If your inner voice argues against you, no external armor will cover it. The aura you project is a reflection of what you tolerate within yourself. Weak, I hope they listen. Strong, they will listen. Weak, maybe I belong here. Strong, I claim my place. This shift is not arrogance, it is order. Silent authority is the second law of the throne. True kings do not need to shout. Their presence radiates through stillness. Watch any leader who commands without constant noise. You will notice long pauses, measured words, a calm pace. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is controlled energy. In a world addicted to frantic movement, the man who remains composed radiates power. Calmness is a crown more feared than volume. When you are centered, others instinctively adjust to your rhythm. Consider a moment of disagreement. Two people clash over direction in front of you. One becomes agitated, voice rising, gestures frantic. You remain composed, eyes steady, tone controlled. You acknowledge their point without rushing to defend, then deliver your stance with clarity. The room recognizes eyes' authority, not because you dominated volume, but because you controlled tempo. This is silent authority in action. The throne that remains unshaken draws loyalty, even without demanding it. Weakness carries a tax, and it is always collected. If you allow insecurity to rule unchecked, others will notice even if you never admit it. They sense hesitation in your speech, restlessness in your movement, avoidance in your eyes. These are leaks in the fortress of your aura. Once noticed, respect erodes. Authority cannot survive if cracks keep spreading. Your task is to seal them daily by strengthening your mind, disciplining your emotions, and refusing to let doubt hold court. Claim your inner throne, guard it with silence, rule it with clarity, seal every weakness before it escapes. The crown you wear is invisible, but once secured, it makes you untouchable. Rule your mind, or your aura will betray you. The morning is a battlefield, and the first hour decides whether you enter the day as predator or prey. Before a single meeting, message, or demand, the fight has already begun. Small victories form the armor of ritual. When you rise and immediately move your body, you claim the first win. When you face cold water, you forge resilience before words are spoken. When you journal or review intentions, you sharpen the sword of focus. None of these acts seem dramatic, yet together they create invisible armor. Others may not know what you did, but they feel the steadiness it produced. Confidence is not an accident. It is engineered in silence when no one is watching. Contrast chaos with command. If you roll from bed and check your phone, you surrender sovereignty. You hand over your throne to emails, headlines, and trivial noise. You smell of reaction, and that scent spreads to how people treat you. If instead you begin with deliberate control, you step into the day already armored. You dictate rhythm instead of chasing it. Weak. I'll try to fit things in. Strong. This is how my day begins. Weak. I'll see what happens. Strong. I set what happens. The difference between weak and strong is decided before breakfast. Imagine a workplace where one colleague enters frazzled, apologizing for being late, rushing to explain. Another enters calm, upright, already composed. When disagreement arises, the frantic one raises his voice, but the composed one responds with measured certainty. The team naturally looks to the one who carries order. This authority was not built in the moment of conflict. It was built in the morning when rituals forge steadiness. Morning rituals are not superstition. They are strategies. They train your body to obey command, your mind to hold clarity, your spirit to carry weight. Discipline at dawn echoes through every exchange, every glance, every silence. You either prepare your weapons or walk into battle unarmed. Rise with discipline, claim small victories, protect the first hour as if your crown depends on it, because it does. Conquer the morning, and you conquer the day. Stillness is the sharpest weapon. Power is not always measured by volume, speed, or display. It is often measured by restraint, by the ability to remain unmoved while others lose composure. A ruthless aura is not created by noise, but by control. Like a predator in the wild, the one who waits silently radiates danger, while the restless prey reveals fear through constant motion. Your stillness becomes a blade others feel pressing against them, even before you act. The unbroken gaze is the first strike of this invisible weapon. Eye contact, steady and calm, signals dominance in nearly every human interaction. Not staring with aggression, but holding with intent, long enough to communicate certainty. Research in psychology shows that people often associate steady eye contact with confidence and leadership. Weak, looking away quickly; strong, holding with calm steadiness. In meetings, in negotiations, even in casual conversations, the one who avoids gaze first yields subtle authority. Train yourself to maintain composure in your eyes. Do not dart. Do not flinch. Do not soften when challenged. Command begins in the gaze. Calculated silence is the second edge. Many ruin their presence by rushing to fill quiet spaces with nervous words. The one who waits forces others to reveal themselves. Silence is not absence. Silence is pressure. It makes others wonder what you are thinking, forces them to justify themselves, and often compels them to over-explain. Leaders throughout history have pauses strategically, knowing that time itself is a weapon. In negotiation, the first to break silence usually concedes ground. In debate, the one who controls rhythm wins the frame. Use silence to dictate tempo. Calm is the third law of stillness. In chaos, the calm one always appears to be the commander. Imagine a heated exchange at work, where voices rise. One person interrupts, anxious to prove themselves. You remain centered, breathing evenly, responding with measured clarity. You neither rush nor raise your voice. The contrast is unmistakable. The frantic lose credibility, the calm one gains it. This does not mean you suppress emotion, it means you channel it into composure. Calmness under fire projects ruthlessness, because it shows that external storms cannot reach your throne. Stillness is not weakness. It is restraint, sharpened into intimidation. Motionless predators terrify because they could strike at any second. Leaders who command silence make others uneasy because unpredictability carries weight. Do not confuse this with passivity. Stillness is active control, a grip over self that radiates outwards. Weak, explaining too quickly. Strong, letting silence carry weight. Weak, shifting nervously. Strong, holding position with certainty. The difference is subtle, but people feel it instantly. To weaponize stillness, you must train it daily. Hold eye contact longer than comfort allows. Practice measured pauses before speaking. Breathe slower when adrenaline rises. Resist the urge to fill silence with apology or excess words. These are drills of command. With time, others will recognize the calm presence you project, and their own behavior will bend around it. Power does not always roar. Sometimes it waits, unmoved, until the moment to strike. Stillness is the mark of a predator who has nothing to prove and everything under control. Master stillness, and you master the room. Ruthlessness is not built by addition, but by subtraction. The predator grows sharp, not from what it consumes, but from what it refuses. Your aura strengthens when you cut away softness, excuses, and unnecessary weight. Just as a tree grows straighter when weak branches are pruned, your presence grows cleaner and harder when weakness is removed from your life. Elimination is not cruelty. It is discipline. The predator's diet is precise. Lions do not chase insects, wolves do not waste energy on unworthy prey, and hawks do not lower themselves to scavenge scraps. They preserve their strength for what sustains their dominance. In your own life, the equivalent distractions are endless, scrolling through noise, indulging in empty arguments, tolerating circles that drain rather than build. Every wasted hour and every indulgence in softness dilutes the sharpness of your aura. Subtraction is power. Cut it out. The executioner's blade is final. Weak. Maybe I'll see if I can. Strong. No, that does not serve me. Weak. I'll try to make it. Strong. I won't be attending. Weak. I don't know. Maybe later. Strong. That's not aligned with my focus. Saying no with certainty does not make you harsh. It makes you clear. The executioner does not explain why the blade falls. Neither should you feel the need to justify every refusal. Boundaries gain weight when they stand without apology. Consider the moment when someone pressures you to join a night out you do not want. Instead of stammering excuses, you remain calm, steady, and unshaken. You say, "I'm not going." No anger, no guilt, no negotiation. Their disappointment is theirs to carry. Your stillness becomes a mirror, forcing them to recognize you as someone who cannot be swayed by noise. That aura commands more respect than endless compromises ever will. Association shapes aura as much as discipline. Who you walk with is either armor or poison. Soldiers know that the man beside them determines survival. In modern life, the people closest to you amplify or weaken your signal. If you surround yourself with complainers, you absorb their doubt. If you walk with the focused, the builders, the disciplined, your presence sharpens by proximity. Many fail not from lack of ability, but from alliances that rot their willpower. Eliminate draining bonds. Guard your circle with the same vigilance a commander guards the walls of his fortress. This process is ruthless because weakness begs for comfort. Cutting away softness feels unnatural at first, yet comfort is the trap that erodes presence. Aura is not crafted in noise or excess. It is carved by what you subtract: wasted time, weak words, hollow associations. Every refusal sharpens your presence. Every subtraction hardens your signal. Every boundary builds the throne upon which stillness and dominance sit. Cut to rise. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. The mask of command begins with presence, not speech. Before a word leaves your mouth, your body broadcasts a message. The battlefield of perception is decided by posture, expression, and the uniform you choose. Like a general entering camp or a predator emerging from the shadows, your aura is scripted in silence. People scan you in seconds and assign a role. If you appear uncertain, you are cast as subordinate. If you carry yourself like a command, you step onto the throne before you speak. Clothing is not decoration. It is armor. The uniform of dominance is chosen, not improvised. Every society, from boardrooms to street corners, responds to signals. Crisp tailoring, clean lines, deliberate simplicity, these choices project control. Sloppiness communicates surrender before the contest begins. Think of a chess master placing pieces with steady precision. Each move builds confidence in the opponent's mind that this is someone not to be underestimated. Your uniform is your first move. Make it deliberate. Posture and gesture form the second layer of the mask. Shoulders squared, movements measured, chin aligned, not stiff, but anchored. Weak, darting eyes, fidgeting hands. Strong, still gaze, economical motion. Weak, leaning forward as if to beg. Strong, standing upright as if you are owed the ground beneath you. These contrasts matter because they reveal where you place yourself in the hierarchy. Predators do not jitter, kings do not rush. Practice stillness until it becomes your default. Controlled expression is where most lose command. Micro-expressions leak fear, frustration, or neediness within milliseconds. You may think you hide doubt, but others often register it unconsciously and adjust their stance toward you. To wear power, train neutrality. Keep your face unreadable under stress. That does not mean coldness, it means composure. In disagreement, imagine someone challenges your idea in public. Instead of reacting defensively, you hold eye contact, allow silence to stretch, then answer with measured calm. The room feels the difference. You shift from participant to arbiter without raising your voice. Every entrance is a theater. Psychologists call it the stage effect. People judge disproportionately from first impressions. The instant you step into a meeting, a bar or an office, eyes assess, walk in as if you belong. Do not rush, do not scan nervously, claim the air. A ruler does not enter apologetically. He arrives like a commander to the battlefield, present, unshaken, prepared. If you act small at the beginning, you will fight uphill to correct your perception. If you arrive with gravity, the throne is half won before a contest begins. Aura is not built in words, but in signals repeated until they form myth. Authority grows when others can predict that you will remain consistent under pressure. Let your dress, posture, and silence create the expectation of power. Once expectation hardens, you no longer need to prove yourself. The mask carries you. Remember, command is a mask you choose, not a gift others bestow. Wear power before you speak. Machiavelli wrote that men more quickly forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. The lesson is brutal but precise. People value strength over sentiment. When you crave approval, you hand your power to others. It is like a soldier who throws down his shield and begs the enemy for mercy. He has already lost the war before the blade even touches him. Approval-seeking radiates desperation, and desperation is a scent predators cannot resist. Your aura is built on detachment, the ability to walk into a room and remain unmoved, whether you are welcomed or ignored. Detachment is not indifference to people, it is mastery over your own need for them to confirm your worth. Think of the assassin who moves in silence, unfazed by praise or insult, focused only on the mission. You must learn to kill the inner voice that whispers for validation. Every time you suppress that voice, you sharpen your presence. The death of neediness begins with silence. When others ignore your message, resist the impulse to chase them with another. When someone disagrees, resist the urge to defend every detail. A strong commander does not explain his authority. He demonstrates it by standing still under pressure. Imagine a meeting where someone questions your plan. Instead of scrambling to justify, you lock eyes, pause, and calmly state your direction. That quiet confidence unsettles more than a flood of words. Cold detachment is also the discipline to accept rejection without collapse. Rejection is not fatal. In fact, it is often a filter. Those who do not align with your path reveal themselves, saving you time and energy. The approval seeker clings, hoping to convert every critic. The strategist knows that enemies are as useful as allies because both define the battlefield. Detachment allows you to decide which fights matter and which you walk away from. The assassin's creed of aura is simple: sever every inner plea for mercy. Weak: do you like me? Strong: this is my standard. Weak: please don't be upset. Strong: I understand your position, but my stance remains. Weak: I hope this is okay. Strong: this is the path I've chosen. Language frames your reality, and reality shapes how others respond. When you speak with finality, you transmit command. When you hedge, you leak weakness. Psychologists have long noted that humans read non-verbal cues before they process words. Posture, tone, and eye contact shape perception more than content. This is why aura is theater. Your silence, your stillness, and your choice of words combine into a mask. That mask either signals dominance or dependence. The assassin does not beg the stage for applause. He enters, executes, and exits, leaving the room unsettled by his presence. Detachment does not mean hostility. It means standing rooted in your own ground, even when winds of approval blow against you. Each time you resist the temptation to prove yourself, you reinforce the steel of your aura. Approval seeking dies not in one strike, but in repeated executions of restraint. The longer you train this discipline, the colder and sharper your presence becomes. The aura you seek is not given by others. It is carved from silence, rejection, and restraint. Every approval you decline to chase adds weight to your presence. Every plea you assassinate in yourself adds steel to your throne. Remember this final creed: detach and you dominate. Rage is chaos. Ruthlessness is order. The wolf that terrifies the forest is not the one foaming at the mouth, but the one pacing slowly, eyes fixed, energy contained, yet undeniable. Your aura is fed, not by frenzy, but by the fire you keep caged. People sense it. They see that you could unleash hell, but you choose not to. That is why restraint radiates more power than constant noise. The strongest generals in history were not the loudest. They were the ones who understood that showing teeth too often dulls their edge. Aggression, when uncontrolled, weakens authority. It burns bridges, exposes insecurity, and makes you look like a servant to emotion. But controlled aggression, leashed, measured, and intentional, creates gravity. It turns you into the predator others think twice before crossing. Neuroscience research shows that emotional regulation strengthens leadership influence. Those who can control their temper are perceived as more competent and trustworthy. This does not mean erasing fire. It means making fire your ally rather than your master. Move like a predator in rhythm, not like prey in panic. Predators conserve energy, waiting for decisive moments. Prey wastes energy with frantic movements, betraying weakness. Your aura must echo the same rhythm. Do not rush to respond, argue, or prove. Slow intensity unsettles more than quick words. If someone challenges you publicly, do not flinch into defense. Pause, look them in the eye. State your point calmly, firmly, without raising your voice. One controlled response disarms more than 10 shouted ones. People will not remember the details of the argument. They will remember who held their composure. Your strike must be rare but final. In chess, masters do not lunge at every opportunity. They maneuver patiently, creating tension until one decisive move ends the game. Your aura works the same way. When you choose to act, whether by cutting off a toxic relationship, refusing a manipulation, or asserting a boundary, do it cleanly, without apology, without backtracking. Weak. I'm sorry, but I can't keep helping you. Strong. This no longer works for me. It ends here. Weak. Maybe I'll try to make it work. Strong. This is finished. Each word is a blade. Cut once, and let silence do the rest. Feeding the wolf is not about roaring. It is about training the animal inside you to walk at your side, visible yet controlled. People feel safer near those who can burn but choose not to. That paradox, danger wrapped in restraint, is the essence of ruthless aura. You do not have to raise your hand to command respect. You simply need to master the rhythm of your own fire. The wolf within you is real, but it becomes lethal only when you own its leash. Hold fire until fire is needed. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. The chessboard of life rewards precision, not sentiment. To build a ruthless aura, you must learn to move like a grandmaster, deliberate, patient, and calculating. Every square you occupy, every piece you move, projects either weakness or command. Ruthlessness without strategy collapses because raw power burns out when it lacks direction. Strategy makes your presence unshakable. Calculated intimidation is the first pillar. Like a queen hovering in striking distance, your aura must signal capability without reckless display. Do not flood every interaction with force. Instead, reveal dominance in select moments where it carries maximum weight. For example, in a tense workplace debate, you do not argue every detail. You remain silent, letting others spend energy, then deliver one clear point that dismantles opposition. That restraint makes the room remember your authority, not your noise. Intimidation is not loudness. It is the tension of knowing you can strike, but often choosing not to. The second principle is sacrifice. Chess masters know that pawns are expendable if it protects the king. In life, your king is self-respect. You may need to surrender comfort, popularity, or even opportunities to guard it. For instance, you may decline invitations that compromise your values, even if it costs you short-term approval. By refusing to be everywhere, you conserve energy for decisive battles. This discipline is not a weakness. It is the highest form of power. Weak. I can't come, sorry. Strong. That doesn't align with my priorities. Every sacrifice clarifies your aura. People learn that your time and attention cannot be bought cheaply. The third element is the long game. Reputation is not built in a single match, but across many. Like a chess player known for calm composure, your aura is a story written over time. Each decision, how you react under pressure, what insults you ignore when you deliver consequence, forms the chapters of your legend. Modern psychology supports this. Consistency in behavior is one of the strongest drivers of how others perceive authority. You cannot afford frantic reversals. Build slowly, move deliberately, and let your opponents exhaust themselves with short-term gambits. In conflict, maintain the posture of the board's master, not a desperate piece. Imagine a colleague challenges your decision in front of others. You do not raise your voice or rush to defend yourself. You hold silence for a beat, then respond with calm precision. I hear your concern, but the course stands. That firmness without anger demonstrates both control and finality. The lesson is clear. You do not beg for agreement. You issue direction. To live as a strategist rather than a pawn, adopt imperatives. Guard your king. Never trade self-respect for approval. Place your pieces. Act with intent, not impulse. Sacrifice wisely. Lose pawns, but never your core. Play the long game. Reputation is the shadow that follows every move. Like the masters of old, you do not win because you move often. You win because you move with inevitability. The ruthless aura is not noise, nor rage, nor chaos. It is the quiet certainty of someone who sees the board 10 moves ahead. Every interaction is either a placement or a sacrifice, every silence a calculated delay. In the end, strategy and ruthlessness fused together create a presence that no opponent can easily dismantle. Your aura is your board, play to win. Strength is not given, it is forged. The aura you carry is not a mask you put on in the morning. It is the iron beneath your skin, tempered by fire and sharpened by trial. You cannot radiate toughness unless you have lived it, and you cannot project an unshakable frame unless you have tested yourself against pressure. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold. Boldness comes from discipline carved into your bones through ritualized hardship. Without these rituals, your presence will bend the moment life applies heat. Voluntary hardship is the training ground. Cold showers, fasting, waking early, holding commitments when your body begs for comfort. These are not random acts of suffering, but deliberate drills for the mind. Neuroscience often shows that voluntary discomfort rewires how the brain interprets stress. When you train yourself to endure pain you choose, the pain you do not choose feels smaller. The body may shiver in the cold, but the mind learns to command. This is how resilience becomes visible without words. Others sense it, even when you say nothing. The Spartan effect is real. Those who have pushed through hunger, fatigue, or discomfort give off a weight that no speech can manufacture. A coworker complains about the air conditioner being too cold, and you, who have trained in ice water before sunrise, stand steady. You do not gloat, you do not announce it. The contrast speaks louder than any boast. People instinctively register toughness the way they register heat from fire. To carry such an aura, you must ritualize toughness daily. Do not leave resilience to chance or convenience. Build small trials into your life so your presence thickens over time. When the boardroom grows tense, when a project derails, or when someone challenges you, your calm becomes the fortress others lean on. There is no need to overreact or bark orders. The man who has conquered himself commands the room without raising his voice. Imagine a moment of disagreement. A colleague dismisses your idea with arrogance. Weak reaction: snap back, defend, prove. Strong reaction: pause, hold eye contact and respond with measured calm. The silence between your words carries more authority than their noise. This is the unshakable frame built in fire. You have trained in pressure, so real that trivial challenges cannot move you. The throne you sit on is internal, and every ritual of discipline polishes it. Voluntary hardship is not punishment, it is construction. Each act of endurance adds steel to your character. Each trial leaves invisible armor. Over time, people stop seeing you as just another player in the crowd. They feel the iron in your will, the way armies feel the gravity of a fortress on the horizon. Endure what is hard, and you will radiate what is unbreakable. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. To become untouchable is to construct a fortress of presence, one that cannot be shaken by whispers, betrayal, or the judgments of lesser minds. Think of yourself as a citadel on a hill. The walls are not built of stone, but of boundaries. Each refusal to waste energy on pettiness, each disciplined withdrawal from toxic noise, adds another layer of defense. You are not cold. You are fortified. When people see that you are not swayed by insult or gossip, their attempts at attack dissolve into hesitation. The shadow of fear is not cruelty. It is the quiet recognition that your frame cannot be moved. Enemies calculate cost, and if the walls appear too high, they abandon the siege before it begins. This is how aura becomes deterrence, strength that requires no explanation. The first weapon of the fortress is selective access. Do not grant every passerby entry to your inner court. Your attention is currency, and its scarcity defines its value. Weak: I'll make time if you need me. Strong: I'll decide when I have time. By controlling access, you command respect without raising your voice. The second weapon is emotional discipline. Imagine a rival testing you with a subtle dig. You could explode and show weakness, or you could hold a frame. The calm leader answers with a steady tone, never matching the chaos of the challenger. In many boardrooms, the one who keeps composure under attack is the one others instinctively follow. Power belongs to the man who remains unshaken. The third weapon is permanence of essence. Ruthlessness, when practiced consistently, stops being a mask and becomes the marrow of your presence. Just as iron forged in fire never returns to raw ore, you do not return to softness once boundaries have hardened. This is the untouchable state where presence itself is armor and every room feels the weight of it. Your aura is no longer about tactics, it is architecture. Fortresses do not argue with travelers. They simply stand immovable, forcing others to adjust. Build walls that guard your energy, project shadows that warn challengers of the futility of assault. Become so anchored that gossip cannot pierce, betrayal cannot shatter, and criticism cannot corrode. When you live as a fortress, you no longer need defense. The citadel itself is the proof. Stand like stone, move like a storm, yield to nothing. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. The ruthless aura is born at the point where fear and respect meet. It is not noise, not cruelty, not show. It is the silent discipline that others sense before you even speak. When you walk into a room, your presence announces itself without effort, the way a predator's shadow makes prey freeze even before the claws strike. This is the aura that bends people without a word. The predator's walk is not about aggression, but about control. Predators do not chase recklessly. They move with patience, measured and precise, conserving energy until the strike is necessary. So must you waste no words, waste no gestures. Every step you take must declare, "I am not to be moved." This is why restraint is more terrifying than anger. The man who explodes is predictable. The one who stays calm while holding power is unreadable. The ruthless aura grows in silence, in economy of motion, in the refusal to rush. The throne symbolizes the mind that governs itself. A king does not bow to gossip, to petty provocation, or to the noise of lesser courts. His strength is not only his crown, but the fact that he does not allow others to tilt it. In modern life, this means setting unshakable boundaries. When someone tries to drag you into trivial conflict, do not argue. State your line once, firmly, and move on. Weak. Please respect me. Strong. I do not allow disrespect. Weak. I can't take this anymore. Strong. This stops here. These subtle differences in language radiate sovereignty. People sense when you speak from a throne rather than from need. The chess master's patience completes the ruthless aura. You do not move out of impulse, but out of strategy. Machiavelli noted that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without calculation collapses. A strong aura does not react to every insult or challenge. It calculates which moves advance my position, which distractions weaken me. When someone criticizes you in public, the reaction of a common man is defense. The reaction of one who has built the aura is stillness. You let the words pass because the crowd sees who remains composed. The criticism fades. Your discipline endures. This aura is not about scaring others into obedience. It is about creating a field around you where people instinctively measure their words, where they hesitate to betray you, where they know you cannot be swayed by flattery or manipulation. Fear here is not terror. It is respect sharpened by the possibility of consequence. People trust the one they cannot shake. To walk as a predator is to move with deliberate confidence, never rushed, never frantic. To rule as king is to guard your mental throne, setting boundaries that no one crosses. To think as a chess master is to calculate before acting, ensuring every move expands your power rather than drains it. Together these principles converge into the ruthless aura, the final form, where presence itself is the fortress. You are no longer performing ruthlessness, you are it. The aura becomes untouchable when it fuses these states. Your silence becomes a shield, your boundaries become walls, your composure becomes the shadow that unsettles challenges. At this point you no longer seek approval, nor do you waste energy chasing dominance. The ruthless aura is mastery of self radiated outward. It bends others without effort, like gravity. The world does not reward those who are easy to move. It bows, reluctantly but surely, to those who stand like fortresses, strike like predators, think like masters, and rule like kings, come the presence they cannot move. Each day is a battlefield where your choices sharpen or blunt that aura. Skip discipline, and you weaken the edge. Honor your word to yourself, and you forge steel others can feel. This is why aura is not a costume or trick. It is not posture without practice. It is the residue of daily battles won against distraction, comfort, and weakness. Others sense this in seconds, even when nothing is said. Imagine a disagreement at work. A colleague challenges you publicly. Most people panic, defend, or lash out. The ruthless aura answers differently. You stay calm, look them in the eye, and reply with a steady tone. I hear your point. Here is the standard I will hold. No escalation, no weakness. The room feels the throne in your voice. They know you are not to be toyed with. Every interaction is a test. Every delay is a surrender. The aura grows when you rise early, speak with precision, and cut waste from your movements. It shrinks when you gossip, beg, or scatter energy. People gravitate toward gravity. If you carry weight, they orbit you. If you are weightless, you orbit them. There is no mercy for neutrality. Predator or prey, ruler or subject. Every day, you are voted into one of those roles by your own conduct. Machiavelli warned that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without discipline collapses. Do not wait. Do not drift. Forge your aura now, or you will kneel under the shadow of those who already have. Master your tone. Master your habits. Master your silence. Aura is not optional. It is the cost of being taken seriously. Control yourself first, and the world bends.